So you've said, and I've heard you say this in several interviews, that corruption doesn't stop business. What do you mean by that?
Well, corruption doesn't stop business. There's no country without corruption. Even our own in Africa is well pronounced because we have very weak institutions. You know, what you need are very, very big institutions so that when you cross the line, there's somebody that will deal with you squarely. But, you know, be it in America, in Europe, or anywhere, these are countries that also have corruption, not at the same level with what we have
because
in Africa. But
in a country like Nigeria, for instance, sorry to interrupt you, Nigeria is ranked 144 out of 177 on Transparency International list of corrupt countries.
Okay, I don't know the number.
But it's known to be a notoriously corrupt country. So my question is, your journey to the top in a system that's notoriously corrupt, you must have had to pay some kickbacks and so on.
Let me tell you something. We have actually never ever paid anybody any kickback at all.
Never.
And that never, honestly. But when you look at it also, when people are busy getting what you call waivers to make money here and there, we don't do it. If we really wanted to make money, you know, especially that I've been close to almost every president that has passed through that seat, you know, I would have actually, you know, gone into oil. Yeah, I told you, you know, before that we decided not to go into oil because we don't want to be tainted. You know, so you don't have to pay. It's not everybody. When you say yes, you cannot generalize that, yes, it's a corrupt nation, everybody is corrupt. No,
it's not a generalization, but the reality is that.
It's true, but you know, there are also a lot of people who are busy fighting the corruption. Some are fighting it, some are, you know, trying to expand it, you know, but I think the government is also trying quite a lot to stop. But it's true, it's an issue that has been on for a very long time. Stopping it in one day is not possible.
Do you think the government is serious, this current government is serious about tackling corruption?
I think, yes, they are. They've been, you know, saying it. I'm sure you must have heard them maybe 10, 20 times, but they are very serious about it. There's no nation that will allow corruption to go deep into the society. You try and stop it, yes, people will fight you, but you have to fight them. As a government, you have all the powers. But that's why I also mentioned we need very strong institutions. Very strong institutions will help Africa a lot. And Africa lacks these strong institutions.
Right. You've alluded to this, that you've been very close to the Nigerian government. They've supported your venture. At one point, your company had exclusive imports rights in sugar, cement, and rice.
No, we have never had exclusivity.
But you have,
there was nothing like exclusivity.
There was nothing like exclusivity?
Nothing whatsoever. So nobody, in fact, you know, right now, if you look at it, let me give you an example. We have invested heavily, maybe $6-7 billion in cement alone. But some people are saying, no, we're not happy because they are too big in the, you know, cement business.
And this is what my question is. What do you respond to those who criticize you and say that you've benefited greatly of government favoritism, which has allowed you to collapse all competition and small business in Nigeria and establish yourself as a sole importer or manufacturer? What do you respond to those critics?
Well, first of all, there was never any time where we were the sole manufacturers or sole importers or whatever of any item. It has never ever happened, only maybe during when we took risk. Let me give you an example. There was nothing like sugar industry in Nigeria. You know, and everything was imported, maybe small, the farming side. We took a risk in 1999 and opened up a refinery which we built with about $250 million then. Okay, so if we are the only ones having that sort of refinery, nobody was stopped. How can you say that somebody has given us a license? We are not giving a license to operate alone. Okay, what normally government will roll out, like right now, let me give you an example. Government has rolled out their agricultural policy on self-sufficiency in sugar. Okay, nobody is investing, maybe two of us. So tomorrow, when we are successful, somebody will rise up and say, no, this is a monopoly. It's not a monopoly because nobody has been stopped. That's number one. Number two, government has always been begging people to come and invest. So if we heed the call of government to go and invest, is that a problem with that?
But can you understand that some people may see your close ties with the government, whether it's former President Obasanjo or the current government, as they can see it as a sort of favoritism? Could you understand that?
Let me tell you something. You know, during the regime of Obasanjo had never ever given me anything directly. And, you know, I know that,
But you
yes,
helped
eventually...
finance his campaign, according to Wiki.
No, well, you know, whether I finance his campaign, but when I finance a campaign for anybody, it has no relationship. There are some African presidential campaigns that, yes, we fund, or we are part of the funding, but we have nothing to do even in the country. What we are looking for is good governance.